Hello students, we are coming to the last part of the chapter Animal Kingdom, that is the class 4 of the superclass Tetrapoda, that is class Mammalia. Under the superclass Tetrapoda, we have seen the 4 classes that are Amphibia, Reptilia, Ape and Mammalia. So we have completed the classes that are Amphibia, Reptilia and Ape. Now in this video we will see the last class, that is the 4th class. Okay, 4th class of the superclass Tetrapoda, that is Mammalia. So that will be the last video of the chapter Animal Kingdom. In the next video we will start the next chapter. So first of all, just see the last class is Mammalia. The word Mammalia means it is mammy or breast. So this organism possesses the unique characteristics, that is the presence of mammary gland. So mammary gland is actually nothing but a modified salivary and sweat gland. Okay, so what happened that the mother feeds the baby the milk. The young ones, they grow first of all with the help of the mother's milk. It is nourished by the mother's milk. Okay, so this is the unique characteristics of the class Mammalia. Presence of a breast, as well as another very important characteristics, that is diaphragm. Okay, so what is diaphragm? Diaphragm is also one important characteristics of the class Mammalia, that if you see the system in our abdominal region, then we have two cavities. One is thoracic cavity and another is abdominal cavity. So if you just see, I will show the diagram a little so that you can understand. So this is our part. First of all, in this region we are going to have the lungs. Okay, so these are the respiratory tract comes, and after that in this region, just beneath this respiratory chambers, that are the two lungs, we have one structure that is called as diaphragm. And just beneath the diaphragm we are going to have the next part, that is the another system, that is the digestive system. So that esophagus that will go piercing this diaphragm, and after that it will form the stomach. Then after that the intestine that will present in this region. Okay, so this chamber actually the two chambers that will be divided by the diaphragm. So this diaphragm, see, this is the diaphragm, right? And this diaphragm divides the cavities, two cavities separated. What are they? One is the respiratory chamber and another is the digestive chamber. In the respiratory chamber, just beneath the lungs, we are going to have the diaphragm, and just after the diaphragm, below the diaphragm, we are going to start the alimentary canal, stomach part. Okay, so the presence of diaphragm is also a unique characteristics of the class Mammalia. Remember, this is important. Now just see the another characteristics. First of all, the presence of milk producing gland or mammary gland. This is nothing but actually a modified salivary and sweat gland, right? So this thing you have to remember. Next one, they exhibit all kinds of habitats. See, now the class Mammalia, they are found in every kind of, all the kinds of habitat. Like it is found in the pole region. In the poles we can see the polar bear. Now in the desert also you can see the camels. Next one, in aquatic environment you can see the whales. In terrestrial condition you can see most of the mammals like the kangaroos, the elephant, cow, dog, man. Then in the aerial habitat also some organisms can fly under the class Mammalia, that are bat. Okay, so in case of mammals, lots of adaptation occurs, right? So adaptations actually occur due to the changes in the habitat. Right, like if you see in case of the tetrapoda, we need to have the 4 limbs. right? But what happened that limbs, actually the forelimbs, the upper two limbs, that will actually get modified to exhibit different kinds of habitat. Like if you see in case of bat, what happened, this bat, the forelimbs, they have some skin attached to it so that it can modify into a wing-like structure, but that wing is not having the feathers, rather it is going to have the skin flap, right? Now if you see in case of the whales forelimbs are modified into a flipper. If you see in case of kangaroos, the forelimbs, they are very much short, right? They will just for just to grip something, not else. If you see in case of monkeys, chimpanzees or gorillas, their forelimbs are modified so that it can climb, right? So different kinds of habitats are there, and because of this habitats, the organism have to adapt themselves in basically for the change in habitat. The forelimbs are modified for different functions. I have written here also that the two pairs of limbs are adapted for walking, running, climbing, swimming, even flying, etc. Right? So this is very much important. Next one, another very unique characteristics, that the skin possesses hair. Okay, so in case of our skin, what happened? Our skin is devoid of scales. Rather, what we have, the presence of hair. So presence of hair is very much important. We don't have the scales, so we are going to have scaleless skin. And another thing is also important, that in our skin, what we have, the sweat and the oil gland. Okay, sweat and the sebaceous glands, they are present on the skin. And the skin, that is also made up of one type of tissue. That tissue is known as non-keratinized squamous compound epithelial tissue. All those things we will see in the next class, in the next chapter. Just for now, remember that in our skin we have a deposition of keratin, right? We are going to have some pigments also, then pigment melanin. Because of the presence of this melanin concentration, one individual can be fair or one individual, if melanin is high, then complexion can be a little dark. Okay, so this is one very unique characteristic, that the skin is unique. The tetrapods, all of the organisms have the scales, or sometimes it can be moist skin. But in case of mammal, we have hair, we have the sweat gland and the sweat gland and the oil gland, and along with that our skin is also don't have the scales. Rather, we are going to have the epithelial tissue. A number of layers are present. That is the characteristics of the skin. Next one, see, in case of the mammals, we have one very unique importance, that here, this is the external ear, right? This is known as the pinna. Let me draw the structure. See, in case of our ear, we have three parts that are the external ear. So external ear, first part is external ear. This is the external ear, where we have the pinna, okay? And the next one, this is the external auditory meatus, meatus. Then after that, we are going to have the next part, that is the middle ear. Middle ear will be started from the tympanic membrane. Then inside we have three ear ossicle, that are malleus, incus and the stapes. This is the malleus, this is incus, and this is the stapes. So three ear ossicle, it constitutes the middle ear. And after that, we are going to have the third internal part, that is the internal ear. That internal ear will be started with the windows, round and oval window. We have all those things we'll see later. And we have three semicircular canal and our organ to here actually to convert the wave energy into sound energy into electrical impulse, that is the cochlea. So this red part, that snail-like coil structure, is cochlea. Above we have the semicircular canal, that is actually one organ called vestibular apparatus. that maintains the equilibrium. See, our ear have two functions. One is it is the organ of hearing, and second function that it is also maintain the equilibrium or balance of the individual. So it is the organ of balancing that will be provided by this semicircular canal and the vestibular apparatus, and the organ of hearing, that is the cochlea, right? So this is the internal ear. So other tetrapods like amphibia, reptilia, even the apes, their ear is started from this part. That means it is started from the tympanic membrane. Then Malleus incus states they can have only one ear of sickle, and after that they are going to have the internal ear. But in case of mammals, what we have, we for the first time develop this external ear part, where we have this part that is known as pinna and a canal. That canal is filled with cerumen, wax gland. That wax is known as cerumen in biology. That is actually present in external auditory meatus. So presence of external ear is very much important, right? So this external ear or pinna is present other than rest of the other things, like the middle part, that is tympanic membrane. It is also present in the other tetrapods, right? In case of mammal only, we have the external ear where the pinna and external auditory meatus, there are two additions in case of the mammals. Now let's just move to the next character, that is the heart. Okay, so just see, we left on part 6 point, I will tell you later. So first of all, see, if it is coming to the heart, our heart is completely 4-chambered heart. Okay, so if you see our heart, then we have two completely separate parts, that are the right part and the left part. So this is the right part, okay, this is the right atrium, and this is the right ventricle, right? And after that, on the left side, we have the left atrium and the left ventricle. So as this one, this is left atrium, this is the left ventricle, okay? Right part is deoxygenated and left part is oxygenated. Now what happened, remember I told you in the apes that ape have the right systemic aorta. In case of mammals, what we have, the left systemic aorta. See, this is the left systemic aorta. So in case of us, we have left systemic aorta, but if it is in case of the apes, they have the right systemic aorta. Otherwise, the heart of the mammals and the apes, they are same, right? Remember that, this is important. Our heart is 4-chambered, completely 4-chambered heart, where interauricular septum that separates the two auricles and interventricular septum that separates the two ventricles, they are present completely. It is completely two separate septums. That septums divide the auricles and ventricles, and along with that, the left atrium, the left systemic aorta that carries the oxygenated blood, and it supplies the oxygenated blood to the different parts of the body, right? So this is important to remember that our heart is 4-chambered completely. Now the next characteristic, see, different types of teeth are present, right? What are the different types of teeth? If you see even your dentition, you can remember already in digestive system, what is our dental formula? Our dental formula is 2, 1, 2, 3 by 2, 1, 2, 3, right? So what are that actually? These two teeth you have to take, suppose these are the upper jaw, this is the lower jaw, right? In the upper jaw and the lower jaw, in each half we have the same type of teeth. That means whatever the teeth we have on the upper jaw, that will be same in the in the lower jaw also. Next one, if you even divide the one jaw, then the right side of one jaw will have the same teeth of the left side, or the right side and the left side, they will have the same teeth. Now, first of all, just see, we have the first teeth. What is that? That is the two teeth, right? What are these? These are the two incisor. Okay, so we have 4 incisors. 2 of them, they are on the right side. Suppose 2 of them, they are on the left side. So these are the incisor, right? So what is the function of incisor? Just to tear, isn't? Next one, the second That is only one. What is that one teeth? That is nothing but your canine. Canine for basically tearing. That canine is pointed, isn't that? And it is more developed in case of the carnivores, like in case of the those like lion, tiger, even in case of dogs. Okay, they have a proper canine, right? So this canine is present. That is only one. That means on one side one, another side another one, on the lower jaws also one. That means we have 4 canines. Next one, see the next teeth. There are the 2 premolars. Okay, 2 premolars are present, and the last one, there are the 3 molars, right? So we have the 3 molars. Okay, so premolars, we have 2 premolars and 3 molars we have. So you can see 2, 1, 2, 3 as total how many? 8. 8 in 1/2 of one jaw. That means 8 on 1/2 of one jaw. 8 plus 8 in one jaw. 8 jaw. 16 and 16 on the upper jaw and 16 on the lower jaw. We have 32 teeth. 2 of them, they are incisors. 1 that is canine. 2 of them, they are premolars, and 3 molars. Premolars and molars, they basically help the food to be grinded properly. So these are the functions of the premolars and molars. So we have 4 different types of teeth, and our type of teeth, that is also one thing you have to know, that if it comes to our teeth, that these are also diphyodont. Okay, if it comes to only human, I'm telling. Okay, we have diphyodont. So we have diphyodont type of teeth. And second thing, that our teeth is thecodont also, right? It is only for the mammal. If you see in case of other organisms like suppose elephant, okay, they have only 1 set of teeth. In case of whales, they have only 1 set of teeth. But in case of us, we have 2 sets. The one is milk set, another is the permanent set. So that's why in case of us, we have diphyodont teeth. Otherwise, if it comes to the embedment in the socket, then our teeth is completely embedded in the socket. That is thecodont type of teeth. Okay, in case of human, I'm telling only. Next one, see that if it comes to the lungs, I already told you, if it comes to respiration, then we are going to have the lungs, right? If it comes to even whale is aquatic, but it doesn't matter that they are going to have the gills, right? They come to the surface, take the oxygen, and it fill in the lungs for a long period of time. They can go underwater using the already inspirated air in the lung, use it, and whenever oxygen will be suppose emptied, once again decrease, then they come back once again to the surface of the water and take the oxygen once again inside the lungs. But yes, in case of the mammals, we are going to have only lungs, right? Next one, see, if it comes to the reproduction, we are completely dioecious. We have separate male and separate female. Next one, fertilization is internal. We have always deposition of the male gamete into the female body, and fertilization took place in the female reproductive system. Next one, we are viviparous. Yes, some exceptions are here. That means in case of most of the mammals, they give birth to the new young ones directly, right? But in case of one group of organism, that is Ornithorhynchus, if you can remember platypus, yeah? So in case of platypus, right? So platypus is oviparous. Remember that platypus is oviparous, right? The next thing, that we have direct development. Yes, this is without any exception, that all of the mammals are going to have direct development. We don't have any larval stage. Next one, see, the scrotum lie outside in the scrotal sac. Now what is scrotum? See what happened, that the one pair of testes, the pair of testes, suppose these are the testes are covered by a layer, and that is known as the scrotum. Okay, so in case of human male, Even in case of other group of other mammals, like if you see in case of dog or even cow or goat, what we have that the testes, they're present outside the body. Now the reason why the testes lie outside the body, because this testis, you have to know that this testis is the organ of producing the gamete. So process of production of the sperms, this occurs inside the testis. And also one thing, that the process of spermatogenesis, that means the process of formation of the gamete, require 2 to 2.5 degree less than that of the body temperature. See, we are homeotherms, isn't that? Homeotherms have a complete temperature, isn't that? What is that constant body temperature? That is around 36.5 or roughly 37 degrees Celsius. So that 37 degrees Celsius is not enough. This is actually more for the process of spermatogenesis. For the process of spermatogenesis, we require 2 to 2.5 degree less than that of body temperature. Now, for the process of spermatogenesis, around 34 degrees Celsius is needed, which is never possible if the testes remain inside the body. So that's why the testes comes outside the body and become extra-abdominal. It comes outside the abdomen and become extra-abdominal. So that's why only it can be possible that they can maintain a little bit less temperature from the body. So this temperature is ideal for this process of spermatogenesis. And that testis, that is covered by a membrane that is known as scrotum. Okay, scrotum. Scrotum is present outside the testis, that covers the testis, and this region where the testis lies, that is known as scrotal sac. Whenever we will study reproduction chapter in second year, we will understand it more in detail, but for now just remember that in case of mammal, our testis lies outside for the ideal process of spermatogenesis. Now there are some exceptions. Yes, in case of mammals, lots of organisms have the extra-abdominal testis. That means the testis remain outside the body. But yes, some of the exceptions are elephant. Elephant have intra-abdominal testis only. Whale, like in case of aquatic mammals also, they have intra-abdominal testis. And in case of prototheria. Now what is prototheria? See, platypus, this is a prototheria. In case of them, the testes remain inside their abdomen. But otherwise, in case of rest of all the organisms, they are going to have the extra-abdominal testis only. Right? Exception, remember, elephant, aquatic mammal like whale, and prototherians like platypus. Next one, see, cerebral cortex is large and convoluted, and 12 pairs of cranial nerve is present. Yes, we have 12 pairs of cranial nerve. I already told you it is started from the reptiles, then ape, then mammals. All of us, we have 12 pairs of cranial nerve. Next thing, that how is it possible that the mammals, if one of the organism is human, isn't that? Why human become the most intelligent organism, most intelligent species? The reason is that our brain, right? Our brain have three parts. I will draw one section of the brain, right? See, this is the brain, right? And this brain, most of the part is the forebrain. Okay, so this maximum part is the forebrain. Okay, a very small part is the midbrain. So midbrain is the smallest part which lies here, somewhere here. This is the midbrain, right? And the next part, that is on the posterior region, what we are going to have, this is the hindbrain. Right? Now this forebrain have the very unique structure that is known as the cerebrum, right? So this cerebrum, that cerebrum holds maximum region. This is the cerebrum, right? So this cerebrum is unique. Okay, so this presence of cerebrum, which is the center for intelligence, learning, reasoning, calculating, all the power, remembering, memorizing, all those things that are present, actually these are the center, the cerebrum. And cerebrum is so large and it is divided into two parts. Cerebral, two parts are there. So this two cerebrum, suppose this is the cerebrum. Cerebrum is divided into two parts, and each of the parts are known as cerebral hemisphere. On one side we have one cerebral hemisphere, on another side we have the next cerebral hemisphere. But this is the cerebrum itself. So that cerebrum is divided into two, right cerebral hemisphere and the left cerebral hemisphere. And right and the left cerebral hemisphere, if they are completely two separate structure, how they can be coordinated? Isn't that? So on the base, the two cerebral hemisphere get attached by one band of white fiber, and that is known as the corpus callosum. Okay, so presence of corpus callosum is also unique to the mammals. We have the corpus callosum, a white band fiber that holds the two separate cerebral hemisphere. That is nothing but cerebrum only. But this cerebrum is divided into two parts, that are the two cerebral hemisphere. Both the two cerebral hemisphere can be connected with each other by this presence of corpus callosum. So this is the corpus callosum who holds the two cerebral hemisphere. Now, a very unique thing that if you see the brain have the maximum neuron that is present. Now this brain can have maximum neuron. How is it possible? Like, if you can remember one thing in the digestive system, that to increase the surface area, what we have the villi, isn't it? So that it can increase the surface area to have maximum absorption. Same thing is happening in the brain also. In the brain also we have lots of convolution. That means we have lots of depressions and invaginations. And why all those depressions are present? Because in the brain we can increase the surface area so that we can accommodate maximum neuron. Okay, so brain surface is not a smooth surface. It is going to have maximum convolutions. Okay, so this is the convoluted brain, and this convoluted brain is the characteristics of the mammals, so that we can increase the surface area and we can have maximum neuron in it, right? So this cerebral cortex, so cortex means the peripheral parts and middle part, this is the medulla part. So cerebral cortex is convoluted. Convoluted means having depressions and invaginations and invaginations, right? And why all those invaginations happening? Because it has to increase the surface area so that we can accommodate maximum neuron. And whenever we will have more neuron, we can have more power of intelligence, calculating, remembering, memorizing, all those things. That will be emotions. Specifically, emotions are very unique. So this is because of convoluted brain cortex. Next one, presence of cerebrum, that is divided into two cerebral hemisphere, and this two cerebral hemisphere will be connected by one corpus callosum. So this is very much important. And if it comes to the midbrain have also another important part, that is in the midbrain we have four lobes, right? The upper two lobes, these are the optic lobes, okay, and there are two optic lobes, right and the left optic lobes, and these are the two another lobes, these are the auditory lobes, okay. And as we have four lobes together, what we can call, this is known as Corpora Quadrigemina, okay. So this is the Corpora Quadrigemina. Okay, so Corpora Quadrigemina is specific to midbrain, present in mammals. And from the Quadrigemina, what we have, the band, the nerve fiber that comes outside. Okay, and what is that? This is known as crura cerebri. So in case of our brain, what we have, crura cerebri and Corpora Quadrigemina, that is also unique to the midbrain. And if it is hindbrain have the cerebellum. This is the second largest part of the brain. What is that? See, this is the maximum part, right? So I will draw here this part. See, this part, right? This part is known as cerebellum, right? So cerebellum is the second largest part. First largest part is that this is largest. This is cerebrum, and second largest is the cerebellum, right? And in the hindbrain we have two another part. What are they? One is pons varolii, this is pons varolii, and this one is known as medulla oblongata. This is pons varolii or simply pons, P-O-N-S, and the next one, this is known as medulla oblongata or medulla, simply M-E-D-U-L-A. Right, so this is the characteristics of the brain. Okay, and as the brain is very much typical, specialized, most complex structure, so that's why this mammalia, they are the most complex, most intelligent group of organism who are dominating the earth now. Okay, so this is the cerebral cortex because of the brain. Next one, the neck generally have the 7 cervical vertebrae. Cervical means this region, neck region. On the neck region, what we have just behind this head region, just after the skull, this vertebral column is started, right? So in the vertebral column we have 26 bones, right? 26 vertebrae are present, and from the 26 vertebrae, the first 7 vertebrae these are present on the neck. Okay, so we are going to have the 7 cervical vertebrae. This is also typical to the mammals, right? And if it comes to the mammals, the class Mammalia orders, then we have the 3 orders. What are they? These are Prototheria. Okay, next one Metatheria and the Eutheria. Okay, now what is Prototheria? Prototheria means it is the most primitive organism where instead of mammary gland, mammary grooves are present and they are oviparous. One example I can give, that is platypus. Okay. Next one, if you see the Metatheria, these Metatherians are the next group, a little developed, but if you see one example, that is kangaroo. Okay, so in case of kangaroos, what happened? The new young ones, they actually get repelled outside. The kangaroos, they give birth the new young ones, the little kangaroos, in a very underdeveloped stage. That means the complete embryogenesis do not complete in the kangaroo's uterus. So uterus is not capable enough to complete the baby's embryonic development. So fetus in a very embryonic, in a underdeveloped stage is just this much of size, just a piece of flesh you can call. So that piece, that small kangaroo, they just remove outside. This birth had taken place, and after the birth, this little kangaroo come to the belly pouch, and in the belly pouch further development occurs. So further embryogenesis occurs outside the body of the mother, outside the uterus, in the belly pouch, right? So this is the characteristics of the Metatheria, and rest of all the characteristics that will be more developed, more complex, like complete embryonic development, the mammary gland are properly developed, who nourish the young ones, they are the eutherians. Like you can give the example, human, dog, cat, elephant, lion, etc. Okay, so these are the 3 orders of the class Mammalia. So that's all about the mammal. Hope you have understood. So this is all about the whole chapter. It is also a long chapter, you can say. Yes, this is a long chapter, but yes, this chapter is very important, because whenever you start suppose studying zoology, you have to know about all the species. Then only you can understand, yes, these organisms are that. Okay, and after that, whenever we complete the studying all the species of the world, of the earth, then we will be specific to only human. We will stick our study only to human. In the next chapters, we'll study only the animal tissue, that is only human tissue, only human digestion, only human respiration, only human circulation, like that. Okay, so only in this chapter you have to know all the species characteristics, and from the next chapter we will see only the human characteristics. So that's why it will be more easier and interesting for you. So that's all about the Mammalia, that's all about the chapter Animal Kingdom. Hope you have understood. That's all about the video. Thank you.